Testing, testing. Okay, hold on. Let's put it right there. Okay, give me a moment. Just doing some setups. Alright. Okay. Alright. Just gonna put on some stuff. Make sure I got music on. Okay, I think I'm almost good. Just gotta give me a moment. I just gotta get nice and close. Okay. Making sure I sound good. Don't ask what that is, please. Oh, you don't see it anyways. Okay, good. Um. Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm gonna test something real quick. Okay, yeah, it doesn't say. Doesn't show. Test, test. Come on. Apparently, chat log does not want to work. I don't know what I'm actually doing, I'm gonna be honest. I also have my stream up on another tab right now. Well, on the same tab, because I don't got a second computer to do all this shit. Okay. So apparently that's where they're supposed to pop up. I don't see them popping up. But where should I put them? Maybe right here. I'm thinking about. I don't even. You guys don't see this right now. Good. Good. Um, right there. I think that's perfect. Ooh, we gotta leave that. Okay. Ooh, that's in. My God. Hold on. I gotta actually go on something real quick that isn't my phone. Hold on. Hold on. I'm just getting stuff ready. It's getting hot in my room. That's just my PC, isn't it? Oh, that's what's making it so hot. Someone turn on the AC, that's why. Okay. Okay, it's a good thing I have 3 different TVs in my room. It makes it look like I just had a broken screen. It also looks like I'm doing projectiling. Okay. So what I do know, chat log sucks right now. Man, I don't know why I can't see any text. Nothing's working. Okay. If I don't see a message pop up on my right, I'm about to disable the damn text. Nope, it's not appearing. I might play Friday Night Funkin' Monster now. Okay. On KBH Games. I'm not downloading anything. Why did I... Ooh, that's... Ooh, you don't want to see that. Oh, hi, Chaotix. Oh, wait, I can just see the chat on my screen. On my second profile, I guess. Alright. Are you kidding me? I don't care. Alright, you know what? Yeah, I'm bored. I'm gonna think about what to search up today. There's not a lot of stuff that I'm really gotta search up. Whoa. I am thinking about, I wonder what mod I should actually play. You know what? Let's play... I heard there's Alright then. Let's get this mod played real quick. Just buy it. Or get it. 2 years old, by the way. Huh. 2 years old. I really need to make a mod soon. That's all I gotta say. Wow, I don't see that being completed in a good 5 minutes. Well, let's go talk about my favorite character. Or mod, I guess. I love this song. Beep. I wonder if anyone can even hear this song. Well, I can't really check that out right now because, well, my phone is not too nice. Okay. Hold on. I want to get this. I want to, like, get the build, but it's not. mouse here. Awesome. That's awesome. You're so cool, Duke. You're so cool, Duke. I love you, Duke. No one ever beats you, Duke. I love Duke. Duke's my man. Dookie Pookie. I gotta make sure I can actually hear too. You see, this is the part. Like, this game had so much. Like, shit. I don't know. Potential, I guess. Look how good that is. I miss it. Chaotix had my favorite song. Breakout. I love Breakout. Hold on. Save as I'm literally just gonna look at my own stream real quick. Hold on. It says I'm playing Sonic Mania Plus. I haven't touched that game in a long time. People still play this game. Saoirse Tenrick. They got her in the game. Wow, alright, that actually looks good. Damn! Alright. What happened to her hair? Wait. What happened to her hair? She just turned into a green Sonic. Hey, that's not Serge. Oh, she's turned into a light blue Sonic again. Oh, I'm sick, man. I hate being sick. God, there's color glitches in this game.
Hey guys, welcome back to Chaos Control, and today I'm going to be showing you all the color changing glitches in Sonic Mania. Now, this isn't really going to be a tutorial video, more like a compilation, but if you do want to see the tutorials and full videos, I'll have those linked in the description. Also, I'll have them carded when we get to those points in the video. So without further ado, let's get right on into it.
Pink tails. How do they do that? Oh, you have to use the... Man, I have a slow phone right now. I'm not even watching it. I'm not even watching it. I'm just on my phone. Oh, wait, how do you do that? How about this? Oh, I see. Right now. Pink tails. What came from recall sliding for Tails. Slow. But alright. Blue Supersonic. Wow, that's actually wait, is that basically Sonic, but just supersonic looking? Super form. Not really super form. Holy crap, Black Ray and then Dark Ray. Hypersonic. Can you really go hypersonic? Wow, that's a lot of... Is he really hypersonic? Oh my god, he's flying. I mean, you wouldn't call that hypersonic, but he's flying though. Like something Sonic would do. Yellow Sonic. Oh wow. Every Sonic running animation. I'm gonna like go through.
Welcome to Chowmix. Let's take a brief trip down memory lane for just a second. Please tell me I'm not the only one who had that one kid in grade school who swore that running with your arms behind your back actually made you run faster. I mean, I sure as hell believed him, because there had to be some logic behind why Sonic adopted such a unique running style, right? But eventually, 10-year-old me would have his reality shattered when finding out that this wasn't true. Running with your arms behind your back did in fact not make you run faster. Actually, the reason Sonic ran with his arms behind him like that wasn't to make himself faster. His hands streamed behind him like a comet's tail because of his intense speed. Sonic, the epitome of breakneck velocity, became known for his trademark running style. Arms trailing behind, smeared red circles as his shoes cycled back and forth, and streaks of blurred blue sweeping across the ground he ran. Sure, you might see Naruto characters doing something similar with their arms thrown behind their backs, but let's not forget who started this trend in the first place. Sonic was the pioneer, ingraining this iconic pose into the pop culture consciousness, where its impact is still felt to this very day. But funny enough, this pose is hardly ever exactly the same, because the way that Sonic runs differs slightly from game to game. Sometimes for better, sometimes for worse. With so many variations, it got me thinking, which Sonic running animations stand out as the best, and which ones completely fall flat and go down in history as the worst. So join me as we go through practically every single Sonic game and rank each and every one of Sonic's running animations on a tier list.
Oh my god. I'm dying.
This video is made possible by today's sponsor, Temu. Temu is an online shop with lots of hot items at insanely low price.
I don't care. I love how the most played section is after
this has
the
to do
ad.
with the visual appeal of the animation. It's how Sonic's running form looks during each phase of acceleration and at top speed. 2. Pacing. Does the speed of the animation during each phase. This has factors that I'll be looking at when deciding on a ranking. The first one will be posing. This has to do with the visual appeal of the animation. It's how Sonic's running form looks during each phase of acceleration and at top speed. 2. Pacing. Does the speed of the animation align with Sonic's actual movement? And does each phase of the acceleration progress in a natural rhythm? 3. Complexity. Here we examine the layers of animation involved as Sonic's speed increases. Are there distinct build-up animations like a walk, jog, run, and sprint? Or is there just one animation that progressively speeds up as Sonic reaches his max speed? And 4. Game feel. How satisfying does the animation feel during gameplay? Does the animation enhance the gameplay experience solely based on the way it looks? The last criteria is whether or not you're subscribed to my channel. I hear if you are, it's an instant S tier. Just saying. So with all of these criteria laid out, let's begin. Sonic 1, 2, and 3 and Knuckles will be the first games we dive into, because their running animations all follow the exact same formula, even though their sprites and art style are slightly different. Sonic's running animation begins with a jog that starts off very slow, but begins gaining speed as Sonic does as well. We then reach Sonic's top speed animation, which, funny enough, has his hands steady at his hips rather than behind his back, and his shoes smear in circles rather than figure eights. The animation progression, despite having just 2 stages, proves that simplicity coupled with good pacing and posing can achieve amazing results. Especially considering the hardware it was on, it does the job well and feels great in motion, and that's what matters the most. There's room for improvement though, which we'll see as we keep going through this list. But for now, this set of animations lands a respectful spot in the B tier. Sonic 2 has another running animation within its special stages, so we'll count this as its own entry. Luckily, it's only one animation, a simple jog that loops throughout the entire special stage. It's an interesting perspective since the regular game only has Sonic viewable at a side angle. But here we can see Sonic's back, showing that he does in fact not have a mohawk, despite what the Western box art might tell you. There isn't too much pizzazz here, but the animation has solid pacing and posing. It's pretty average, so I'm gonna put it into the C tier. Sonic 3 also has some special stages with the same over-the-shoulder perspective. In a similar fashion, it's also just a single jogging animation continuously looping. But the bright side is that it progresses in speed depending on how fast you're going, since these special stages gradually speed up as you go on. I gotta be honest, the sprites from Sonic 2's special stages had much better posing. And because these special stages were trying to do this pseudo 3D thing, it's worth noting that I think Sonic 2 also did a better job at making its sprite look more 3D. Overall, it's a downgrade from Sonic 2's special stage animations, and frankly, not even a very good running animation. And it's a shame because Blue Spheres is my favorite special stage from the classics. This one is unfortunately going into the D tier. Sonic CD is the next game on our list that we'll be looking at. This game basically takes the same animations from the original trilogy and throws in a nifty peel-out animation. Signifying an even greater level of speed, the peel-out has Sonic's legs stylized into a red figure 8 streak, and this is the first in-game instance of Sonic throwing his arms back. In short, this running state is absolutely sick and the next step up from the previous animations. Again, besides this, everything else is the same, but this one added phase just so happens to be one of the coolest in the entire series and is just enough to push it into the A tier. Sonic CD also has some special stages we get to talk about, and they're actually really good. Well, not the special stages themselves, I hate these things, but the running animations within them. Sonic has 2 distinct animations here rather than just the one like in the previous special stages. He's got a jog and then a top speed animation that's essentially an over-the-shoulder perspective of the Sonic 1 top speed animation. There's even turning animations for the jog where he leans into whatever direction he's turning in. Great attention to detail that you love to see. Even though I hate these special stages, these animations are surprisingly really good. So I'm gonna throw this up into the B tier. Shifting gears, let's discuss the 8-bit Sonic games. They attempt to mimic their 16-bit counterparts, but their lower resolution and less powerful hardware keep them from fully achieving this. The animations are faithful to the originals, but the low resolution has the posing take a slight turn for the worse. They're adorable, sure, but I think they could have been stylized a bit differently to fit better with the 8-bit aesthetic. We're placing these games into the C tier. Sonic Spinball may be a game where you chuck Sonic around like a pinball, but there are moments where you're on foot. For these sections, there's just a single phase of animation that plays that gradually speeds up as Sonic gets faster. Don't expect much though, because Sonic's top speed is pretty measly here, understandably. It seems that this animation is heavily inspired by the Sonic 2 jogging animation. No hands behind his back or shoes doing circles here. Listen, the one animation it has is pretty decent, but the pacing and game feel are awful due to the lack of speed and it literally just being a pinball game. It is what it is. Let's put this one into the D tier. Sonic Labyrinth is literally a game about not running. No, seriously. Dr. Eggman steals Sonic's shoes and replaces them with shoes that weigh him down, so Sonic is only able to roll. He does have a little 4-frame jogging animation though. It does the job, I guess, but it has zero build-up and the game feel is absolutely terrible because he's so painfully slow. The only plus side is that it's kinda cute, I guess. This one's still going into the D tier. Sonic Blast is truly a sight for sore eyes. This is probably one of the ugliest games I've ever seen in my life. Just look at the art style. This game does have 3 sequences of animations until max speed, which is kind of interesting. You got walking, jogging, and then the top speed animation. But my god, the posing is awful, and the pacing of the animation is like nails on a chalkboard, but for your eyes. We're sending this one straight into the Shadow Realm. This is our first F tier.
Yes.
Sega Sonic. Some of you might know that I made this game playable on the Steam Deck with trackpad controls, providing an authentic way to experience the game. So yeah, I'm kinda cool, I guess. The game's running animation is adorably compact, and the art style matches this cuteness. There are 3 distinct running phases: walking, jogging, and the top speed animation, which all help indicate your speed, especially helpful given the game's unique trackball controls. It's also worth noting that they designed unique sprites for all 3 phases for all 8 directions. Well, 5 if you don't count the ones they just mirrored. Still, that's a lot of dedication. I'm awarding this one a deserved spot in the A tier. Continuing with the arcade games, let's take a look at Sega Sonic Popcorn Shop. This game surprisingly includes a running animation, as Sonic is chased by Eggman on a conveyor belt. It's, really not good. Probably one of the most clunky looking animations I've ever seen. F tier. One more arcade game. Let's talk about Sonic the Fighters. Look, Sonic doesn't really run in this game since it's a fighting game. He does little punches and kicks and slaps his opponent into a pancake. It's a ton of fun, but running is pretty limited here since you're not looping any loops. So judging the running animation feels almost unfair because it's so minimal. Sure, Sonic can jog towards his opponent, but the animation is as basic as a bowl of unsalted popcorn. Serviceable is the best word to describe it, but that's hardly a compliment when it comes to Sonic's iconic running style. It does the job for a fighting game, I guess, if it were like any other character and not Sonic the Hedgehog, so unfortunately this one is going into the D tier. Meme game time. Sonic Schoolhouse on PC has a couple separate running animations, but we'll kind of be grouping them together as if they were different phases. First, we can see the quote-unquote top speed animation at the game's intro logo, where Sonic's shoes blur into a weird fuzzy circle. Amazing. We can then find Sonic jogging towards the camera at the title screen, which is probably one of the clonkiest looking things I've ever seen. As far as I could tell, those were the only instances of Sonic running in this game. But the deed must be done. We must rank it.
Like
Please don't crucify me in the comments. I know this is going to be a hot take, but I'm putting this into the F tier. Sonic 3D Blast is another isometric Sonic game like Sonic Labyrinth, but this time Sonic can actually run. You'd think that would automatically be a good thing, but in this case, it's not. The only slightly interesting thing going for this is that all the animations are rotoscoped from an actual 3D model. It's the one you see in the intro cutscene and the box art for the game. But the game only has a single animation sequence for Sonic's running, with the speed of the animation adjusting depending on how fast Sonic is going. Unfortunately, the posing makes Sonic look like a penguin who's had a bit too much to drink and is holding in a gallon of pee. It's definitely one of the more clumsy animations I've ever seen, despite having a better game feel than Sonic Labyrinth. Because of this, Sonic 3D Blast is being stranded into the D tier along with Sonic Labyrinth. But wait, we aren't done with Sonic 3D Blast just yet. In the Saturn version, there exists a fully 3D low-poly model of Sonic exclusively built for the special stages. Yes, he does have a running animation, and actually, it isn't that bad. He actually has 2 phases of build-up, a jog and a top speed animation, and I gotta say, for low-poly rig, the posing is actually pretty dang good, even if it is a bit on the stiff side. Also, this is the same model that'll be used in the next 2 games. So let's put this into the B tier and talk about these next 2 games using the same model. Sonic Jam is a collection of the original trilogy from the Sega Genesis ported to the Sega Saturn. So why are we bringing this up if we've already gone over those games? Well, probably the coolest feature of this game in retrospect was the fully 3D hub world you got to explore to view the extra content. This has that same 3D Sonic model from Sonic 3D Blast, but he has some new running animations. Obviously, we gotta talk about it. These animations actually have a lot of things going for them. It actually has 3 entire run phases, a walk, jog, and a top speed animation, and the posing for all of them are surprisingly really good. His top speed animation is especially adorable, which fits the compact look of classic Sonic. But something really cool that this game does is actually stretch back Sonic's quills to represent his speed. Here's the thing though, the speed ain't really all there in this game, making the game feel not the greatest. But all things considered, I'd say this animation is also a solid B tier. Sonic R is the final game to use this model, and its running animation is probably the worst out of the 3. Don't get me wrong, I love this game for all its janky glory, but jank is jank. Again, there's something about the low-poly classic Sonic model that makes anything he does look incredibly adorable. But my god, this dude's running around like he's got no kneecaps. Frankly, the posing isn't very good, and it's just one animation played at various speeds matching Sonic's velocity. I love you with my whole heart, Sonic R, so it pains me to put you into the D tier, but it's gotta be done. This next one is a doozy. Sonic Jam on the Gamecom is regarded by many as the worst Sonic game of all time. Yeah, there's a lot of those according to many people, but I'm regarded by many to be done. This next one is a doozy. Sonic Jam on the Gamecom is regarded by many as the worst Sonic game of all time. Yeah, there's a lot.
What's a Gamecom? I never heard of it. Oh my god. What the hell? Hold on. I don't care. I'm sorry, YouTube.
Electronics of game system. He tried
Start your engine.
the worst screen that I've ever seen.
The race begins from a rolling start. Ready?
What the
Go!
hell? Wow, okay. What's going on?
Having a bad screen on a handheld game system is like having bad speakers on a stereo. It completely defeats the purpose and ruins the primary output mechanism for fun. But I'll get to that in a moment. Styling-wise, the Gamecom is a nice handheld, and I love the dual cartridge slots. In the days before you could just pack your memory card or
Resident
hard drive or
Evil
whatever
2?
with thousands of games, the Gamecom allowed you to take 2 of them with you at any given time. And select them with a touch screen years before the Nintendo DS was released. But did you want to play any of the games released for this thing?
What the hell?
Even top shelf games such as Resident Evil 2, Duke Nukem 3D, and Mortal Kombat couldn't persuade people to buy a Gamecom. But it has a pen, and that's not all, it also has a calculator, so you can finally ditch that abacus.
Okay, well, yeah, I see what you mean.
A lot of those according to many people, but I mean, just look at this amazing video game that I'm broadcasting to your eyeballs and tell me to my face that there's a worse one. I dare you. It takes the sprites straight from Sonic 3, so technically the posing and everything is all the same. But the frame rate and whatever else is defective about this game just makes the pacing a total disaster. You could have the best sprite art in the world, but none of that matters when it's being played at a choppy PowerPoint level frame rate and it feels like the game doesn't read your inputs half the time. Needless to say, the game feel is awful, one of the worst Sonic experiences you'll ever have. The fact that this is Sonic 3 sprite art is the only thing it has going for it, so solely because of that, it's going to avoid the F tier and go right above into the D tier. Sonic Adventure, my beloved. And you'll see why in just a second, because the running animation in this game is impeccable. It's got multiple phases with a walk, jog, sprint, and top speed animation, and the posing for each one is amazing. Sonic even turns his head in the direction you're going, a cool little detail I've always appreciated. But dude, this top speed animation is where it's all at. Besides the amazing posing, there's 2 key ingredients that make this so special, I think. The first one is the onion skin effect, which is basically the slight after image you see on Sonic's shoes. And the second is the stretch you see on the tips of Sonic's shoes, creating the illusion of something like a smear frame, a technique used to indicate intense motion commonly found in cartoons. Both of these effects combined together make Sonic look so incredibly nimble on his feet. And you already know the adventure games control amazing, so when putting this animation to test in game, it's one of the best feeling Sonic games you'll ever play. The running animations from Sonic Adventure are a definite S tier and should be what all Sonic games strive to be. Hey, let's go back to 2D for a second. Sonic Pocket Adventure is a cute little Neo Geo Pocket game made by the people who would eventually go on to become DIMPs and develop the Sonic Advance series. It's interesting to see their work here because we can see how well they pack detail and expression into such a cramped space. This follows the same formula as the original trilogy and 8-bit games. But unlike the 8-bit games, they make do with the low resolution with its art style, which leads to much better posing for all the animations. This game also has an 8-bit version of the Sonic 2 special stages, and looks pretty good all things considered. Sonic Pocket Adventure is just really neat, and makes use of every single pixel on screen to convey Sonic's movement to the best of its abilities. Gonna put this in a very respectable B tier. Sonic Shuffle. You'd think a game that reuses the Sonic 1 animations, it'd be right there in S tier with it. But no. Oh, you sweet summer child, no. This game pretty much just takes a few of the animations from Adventure 1 and slaps it in without any of the cool effects. They're also played at a really slow rate, which makes it look like everything is in slow motion. Listen, it's a party game. I'm not expecting it to have the same level of intricacy as everything else. But then again, we're comparing it to some of the best animations in the series, so we do gotta judge it for what it is. The Sonic Adventure 1 animations, but implemented much worse. This one is going into the D tier. Alright, time to talk about Sonic Adventure 2.
you know what?
The adventure
Okay,
games are my
it's over.
favorites for a
It's
reason,
over.
and the